Bhagavad Gita chanting, chapter 12, verses 1 to 10. Arjuna Uvacha
एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तम् तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये माम् नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं परासते सर्वत्र समचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामम् सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम् मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततः मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. Relatively a small chapter. It has only about 20 verses. Bhakti means devotion. And devotion is an emotion. Therefore, all the properties, all that is associated with emotions, we'll find in Bhakti also. Right? So, when we discuss about Bhakti, in fact, discussion on Bhakti is such a difficult one. It is easy to discuss about karma. It is much, much easier to discuss about jnanam, knowledge. It's a little easier because karma has a technique. Jnanam has a technique. For bhakti, there is no technique. See, it's like a person. It's exactly like love. Imagine someone comes and asks, "Can you teach me the technique of love?" How can you? Is there a? Can you give a specific for formula for love? Not possible. Whereas karma can be discussed. There's no problem. You can give a specific formula. Mayi sarvani karmani. You can say it's easier. This is all you have to do, man. What do you have to do? Do this, 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 this. With this understanding, with this attitude, with this goal, these actions you do becomes easier. Similarly, for knowledge also, there is a specific technique possible. How to study? There is a technique. There is a method. How to love? If someone comes and asks, how can you give a formula? That's why discussion on love is very difficult. All other aspects are easier. Right? The Vedic terminology for bhakti is upasana. Right? You will not find that word bhakti in the Vedas. There you will find only upasana. The term used there is upasana. Now that is been changed over a period of time into bhakti. Right? Why or not? Don't ask. How the change happened and all this is not the problem of philosophy. That's the problem of language and the problem of history. Right? So we don't have to go into that facet of it. All that you have to understand, because those who study the Vedas, you will be hearing only these three words there. Karma is there, which means rituals. Then upasana is there, and then you will find jnanam. Most of us take only the last knowledge part to be Vedanta, which is strictly speaking wrong. Vedanta includes rituals, includes upasana, includes knowledge. It is including all that. It's not that's why you'll find people segregating the things as two separate facets. One part they say, okay, this is ritual, sir. This is philosophy. Now, when you translate, it becomes there is a lot of problem possibilities. One of the biggest problem we find with reference to understanding the word Vedanta. Vedanta includes this. That is why a lot of people think, even some of you may also be thinking, oh, I'm coming to the class for knowledge. For bhakti, I go to another place. Bhakti illa class lella, sir. Karma illa class lella. Rituals we do separately. But this is not. That means you have totally misunderstood Vedanta. See, it is not separate units, please. It is one unit together, which we use in different terminologies. Now the modern terminology most of us use is, sir, I'm spiritual, not religious. Is a term used by a lot of people. Right. Then there is another set of people. Lower religion, higher religion. Religion has two aspects. Lower religion is there, higher religion is there. What is lower religion? Rituals are lower religion. Knowledge is higher religion. Rituals are all religious. Philosophical things are all spiritual. So we say you have totally misunderstood these ideas. So this upasana, bhakti are all synonymous terms. It's the same idea used in two different contexts. Subsequent thinkers started using the word bhakti. Earlier group of people were using the word, the Vedic terminology for that was upasana. Right. And what is this bhakti? As I said, bhakti being an emotion, it has all those flavors of emotions. It contains all the dimensions of emotions exist in devotion also. And one of the primary aspect about any emotion we say is, for example sake, I am taking the word love. Okay. Whatever be your understanding of love. You see, I am not going into the what is the definition of love and all that right now. Whatever you understand, because love is one emotion which all of us are familiar with. No one can say, sir, I don't know about love. I don't know love. It is an impossibility. See, so of the emotions, love is one emotion which everyone would have experienced in their life. I'm not talking about lady love. Okay. Love means any scenario in a situation where you felt affectionate towards. Something happens, no? When you see your child, something happens right inside you. Gets triggered, no? That's called love. That's all. It's if you want to understand in a very simple way. Nowadays I can't even say husband wife. The last option we have now is child. But when you look at parents, the same doesn't come. That's a weird one. Right? You don't get the same feeling when you look at your parents. But when you look at your child, it looks different. That's why I'm giving the example of a child. When you look at your child, there is something gets triggered in you. You see, that is called love. I love my child. Same thing. Now, all that aspects you have with reference to love will fit into devotion also. First thing we understand about love is what? Love is
Identification.
you have a very good memory. Somebody told you a word, replaced the word with identification. Now, when I ask you what is identification?
Love.
Love, sir. Hey, there's auto fellows, right? No? Love is God. Okay. What is God? God is love. It's called arguing in circles. What is upasana? Bhakti, sir. What is bhakti? Upasana, sir. You're not explaining anything. You see, first thing we understand about love is straight away we say love is blind, sir. Isn't it? It's a very, very fundamental idea we have. Blind. Now, when you have any emotion, remember, it is blind. Blind to whom? Blind to what? Blind to your logic. For your logic, love is blind. You see, that is why when you are going to have this, you know, rational reasoning about love, for all the people you got this person to love, how can you love such a thing? A famous example we have when Majnu fell in love with Laila. Majnu was a prince. Laila was a common, citizen. The father was very, upset that he is in love with some common girl. So Majnu's father one day said, "Okay, bring her to the court. They will see." He didn't know who she was and all that. He thought, okay, he's in love with some girl, which if it is not royalty, they don't connect. Anyone other than royalty is useless for them. Right? So that's what his father thought. So one day when finally he decided to meet the girl, he said, okay, bring her to the court tomorrow. And he has told her that, no, you come. Appointment time was given, they have entered. And all these people are sitting. Right? Laila enters the court. And the king was looking behind her. Right? Because he could not believe, so usually what they do is, all the security guards, come first, to check whether everything is okay for them to enter and all that. So they thought Laila's coming behind. Couldn't believe that a handsome prince, Majnu, can fall in love with the girl like this and go mad. Madly in love. He was madly in love with her. That's where we got this, statement. Love is, right? Beauty lies in beholder's eyes. Beauty lies in beholder's eyes. Same way, remember, devotion also will look blind to whom? Not to outsiders. Outsiders, it will look something else. Remember, we will come to that. To you, it will look blind. It will be blind. It should be blind. I won't even say it will be blind. If devotion is not blind, that is not devotion then. It is a good marriage proposal, that is. See, that's why all these boys always used to say that. Boys only will fall in love. Girls will never fall in love with this. Why? The moment this girl starts thinking, immediately they start calculating. This is the contention of all the boys. Will he be the right fellow? Will he take care? What is his, prospects, future prospects? Probation period, they keep him as lover for some time and check. But boys don't do all that, sir. Boys always, what is it? Love at first sight for boys. Girls, love at first sight never happens. This is boys' angle, because they immediately start calculating, start thinking. If you start thinking and calculating and then say, I love you, that's not love at all, actually. That's called what? That's a good deal. You see, it's a very good deal. one fellow came, some time back. I'm in love with this girl. I said, it's a very good deal for her, not for you, I said. And the fellow didn't understand. He thought I'm just, saying. I said, it's a very good deal for her, not for you. Love always will look, it will be blind. Remember that. Do not ever get into this false notion that I should not have a blind devotion, sir. Devotion will be blind. To whom? To yourself. If you start thinking, what is in that person that is looking so attractive to me? You should not be able to figure out any one. Your pen should not move. If your pen starts writing points A, B, C, D, E, F, it goes on. That's not love then. Something else it is. Because love as emotions belong to mind. Logic belongs to thinking, rationalizing belong to the intellect. Right? By definition, it will not happen from your side. Then, parallelly, there is one more thing that also will happen with love. That is, once you start loving somebody, that emotion of love will start making that object bigger than you, important than you, valuable than you, valuable than anything. You see, a lot of people say, sir, we have not applied for divorce. You know why? Because of the child. If a child is not there, I would have, I would have gone for divorce. No issues. Only the presence of the child that is keeping, the marriage going. Why? Okay, you don't want to leave, no. One of you take care of the child. What difference does it make? Together only we should take care. Together also you are not taking care actually. That's as per law they say, up to 7 or 10 years, something like that. The child has to be in the custody of the mother. You see, father will not get the custody unless there is a, very solid reason being, provided, and they have few points. If any one of them is proved, then they can. Otherwise not. Only visits can be done. After that, the child can make a choice whether the child wants to be with the father or with the mother. Not till then. We know, so what? There are so many fellows who have left the child and the mother in the country and they work in some other country. They come once a year for 15 days. 1 month they leave, they take and come. They give leave. But then they have to visit to every relative, no? Everywhere they have to go. So they have to go here, there. So essentially that fellow will be with this child only for 15 days. Rest of the day is very easy. Is not there. There are living, no. For all purpose, it is only one is there. Both the parents are not there. So it's not that the child will not. But then we say what? No, sir. It will affect the child's mind. Psychologically, the child will get affected. Yes, it will get affected. There's no doubt about it. Divorce is a big impact for the child. There's no doubt. So, in comparison to the pain of me going through this marriage, which I am not for, I am going through for the sake of the child. Why you are doing that? Because to you, the child's psychological well-being is far more important than your well-being. Correct? No. That is why you are saying that. So what does love do? Love starts making the object of your love bigger than, important, valuable, superior than anything, including your well-being also. That's why we find the ladies who are scared of cockroaches can put up a fight and save the child from a tiger, a leopard. We saw that a few months back in one village here. The lady single-handedly, without any nothing, she fought with that leopard or cheetah, one of that. She fought with that to save. Not easy, eh? The strength of that, the agility and their, even if you give a hit also, what power you will have a comparison to that? Impossible. From where she got that? And she's scared of a street dog. A street dog chases. Sometimes when you go by, in the vehicle, sitting inside the car, you get scared. At least you are going by two-wheeler or cycle, chances are there for them to come and bite you, sir, and all that. There's a chances are there, so we get scared. You're sitting inside the car, you get scared. But street dog, with a tiger, people fight. How she got, from where she gets that? What is giving them that? Remember, I'm just giving examples. So remember all these ideas. We'll extract the points one by one. First point we extract is, love is blind. So does devotion also. Because love and devotion are one and the same emotions. Same emotion, only direction varies. That's the thing. When it is directed towards something which is worldly, which is equal to you, that's called love. When the same thing is directed to something transcendental, that's termed as devotion. Right? Now, if devotion is going to have that blindness carrying with us, like love, then other aspect of love is what? Love starts making that object more important than everything else, to the extent of what? To my own life, my own comforts. You see, that's called love. Love will make, should make. Opposite of that is what? Attachment. Where your comfort is the first priority. The object of your love starts shrinking, losing its value over a period of time. Initially, that's why when you say, I'm in love with this person, sir, we are in love, I'm in love, and all those things, over a period of time, that love turns into attachment. Why? Something pollutes that. How do you know there is a pollution? Pollution is visible when my comforts and I start appearing bigger than, more important than the other. The other is not important. Other is not bigger. I am bigger in my eyes. Same way the other also says what? No, you are not bigger. I am bigger. That's why there is a fight, friction. Other attachment. In love, exactly opposite will happen. The opposite of that is where you start seeing that objects will start appearing, object of your love will start appearing bigger, bigger and bigger and bigger. So when it starts appearing bigger, what is the issue? You start looking smaller. What is the proof of that? That's where I gave the example of that mother. The proof is what? Proof is the effortlessness with which you can serve, sacrifice is the proof. What is a proof of your love? What is it that you are willing to sacrifice for the sake of the other person? That's why in any marriage, always the lady has upper hand. Any fight, any argument, no man can ever win the argument with his wife. Impossible. You can suppress, you can shout, you can hit, you can do all those other things. But winning over is not a possibility. Till date, not a single fellow has done that. Including our, what's his name? That actor who had a case, now, divorce case. No, that Hollywood.
Yeah.
What's his name? I'm missing his name. No.
Hollywood, right?
Hrithik Roshan lost. I'm talking about a man who won.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. With his ex Amber, no?
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. One fellow said, so no Ishwaran. The lawyer who represented him was a lady. I said, he won. The fellow said, no, Ishwaran, you're wrong. I said, oh, let me check. They can win. No husband can win there. Why? Why that's the case? Because only a lady has come with sacrifice. She has been living in a house for the last 25 years. Of the comfort she is foregoing for this relationship, which is absolutely new. We have no clue what's going to happen. Maybe this is going to become, far, far superior to all that later on. But as on date is what? I'm leaving all that comforts. The comfort that girl has enjoyed in the house, she has to give up for the sake of something which is not guaranteed. Who has more love now? Husband or wife? Obviously. Why? That is how this is designed. Now we don't know. No culture in the world has that other way around. After marriage, husband goes to the wife's house and lives. Visit is possible. Now we are starting a new system now. What is a new system now? After the wedding, what are you supposed to do? Live separate. And then start attending program after program after program for parenting. A child is very small, but it's a very heavy thing to carry, the burden. When we are living as a group, the house, it got shared. Now we decided to, whatever the reason is, I'm not going into the right or wrong and all those things. For whatever reason, we have decided to come out and we say we are going to live separate. After marriage, what are you supposed to do, sir? Both of you live a separate place. That is why no one understands, is there any sacrifice done? The boy also says what? Hey, you know how I was treated by my mother? She was treating me like a king, Even 10:30 I come. She will be fast asleep. She'll wake up before I go and change and come out. She'll be making hot dosas ready. What are you doing? Yesterday's night dosa is there in the fridge. You take a note. He puts a note on the dining table. You say, it is in the fridge, you take. And the fellow goes and opens yesterday's dosa. And then he says what? No, sir. He also says, I have sacrificed. She also says, I've sacrificed. But is there a sacrifice factually speaking? Neither. Why? Because the other is not appearing to you bigger than you. That's the fundamental rule of love, devotion. You see, the one who has never tasted love becomes incapable of tasting devotion. It's not possible. Minimum requirement for you is to have the taste of love. That's why in our system we had brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, then sannyasa. We do not take a person from brahmacharya to sannyasa direct. You see, now direct jump is not accepted. But few will do like that. One or two will be doing. That is one or two, now how many? Traditionally, if you have to take in the system, how many you see? All the rishis were grahasthas. Upanishadic masters, if you see, they were living with their wives. Not only wives. You know that, no? Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yajnavalkya had 2 wives. Many of them have had. It's not that all of them were sannyasis. Don't. Why? Because only when a person moves from brahmacharya to grihastha, there is a possibility of love. That's the starting point. That's what he says. Beautiful statement of Swamiji says. Home should be the center of your affection, not the boundary. That's the center. Why? Because that's where it is born. If you want to put a circle, first thing you fix is what? The center. After fixing the center only, you can put a boundary. Without putting a center, I'm going to put a boundary. Now, it's not a possibility. You can't draw a circle. So he says, the affection that you have, your home can be the center where it is created, where the possibility is experienced. So in love, what happens? Love gives you blindness. It also gives you what? The capacity to sacrifice. Why you are able to sacrifice? Serve. That too effortlessly. That the effortlessness with which they are able to serve, sacrifice. How? What is the secret of that, sir? That is because love starts projecting the other bigger than you. Therefore, we are able to do all that. Okay. Now, all this is internally happening to you. Externally, how the person will see that? You serving, you sacrificing will be perceived by the external people as what?
Right.
Huh? Blindness is yours. They are not blind. They are it's too obvious for them.
Illogical.
It is illogical for them, correct? It is illogical, I am saying, for you only. Forget about them. To you yourself, it will be illogical. You know? If we understand this, so many problems of our problems of life can be resolved. So many social, national, international problems can be resolved if you understand this dynamics. If you don't understand this dynamics, there is no saving for humanity. There is no way we can save humanity. Impossible. To the world, to anyone other than you. What are you doing? You see again. I repeat. You identify with something. You love something. You are devoted to something. In other words, you are affectionate towards something. Okay? Once your emotion starts flowing in that direction, towards that particular object or being, right now we'll take it as being. Towards that being, it starts flowing. When it starts flowing, you start feeling what? You start experiencing that to be more valuable than you. Therefore, what you will be doing? The moment you see something as bigger than you, what you will do? You will start serving that. And when it starts becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, your services will slowly start becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. When service gets subtilized, intensified, that service intensified is what we call as sacrifice. Okay, far deeper that is. Sacrifice is far superior to service. Right. Example, lady. Remember that. You're able to effortlessly do that. Mark this very carefully. Only to your eyes that object is bigger, valuable, important, greater. Not to anyone else. Which means all others are going to see that object, that being as what? As who? One more. Correct. For that one more, you are doing what? Started serving. The service has now translated into sacrifice. That will appear as what to them?
Madness.
Remember, it will appear in their eyes behaving like a slave. Isn't it? Right? It will look to you. To them, it will appear as slavery. But the complexity is in that sacrifice, in that service, in that sheer devotion, love is where you will be experiencing freedom. See the paradox. Paradox is, I am experiencing freedom. That is why I am able to continue. Right? But Since I am experiencing freedom, I am continuing this. It will appear in their eyes as slavery, exploitation, not worth. Initially, they will say, it doesn't deserve that much. Allah. Example, Laila. Hey, I'm willing to give up my kingship for common lady. Look, at least, okay, let her be common. Let her not have any wealth and, education, this, that. Paravalla. At least she should look pleasant, no? Positively ugly. Yes. போய் ஏண்டா ஆளே கிடைக்கலையா? He was asking, like, can't you find someone who is at least presentable? Because now he couldn't believe, the father could not believe. How can you? That slavery is what? The slavish behavior of yours towards something, someone who is not worthy enough. In my eyes, I will call you as stupid, dumb, madness. You're not worthy. Then what is it, sir? That is called slavish behavior. So the whole world will present you as slave, but what you are experiencing internally, freedom. Now, can there be communication? How will you communicate? To tell them, no, it is freedom, man. Immediately, in any discussion, what comes into picture? Logic, reason. By definition, it's an emotion. Where there is a reason possibility. Remember, any emotion, the law of emotions is this. Only two choices are there: accept, reject. You can't reason. Either you can accept that emotion or you can reject that emotion. You cannot rationalize with the emotion. Don't try that. But we try to rationalize with devotion. And that is why I said having a discussion with reference to devotion is almost impossible. For that, I have been discoursing for the last 45 minutes. Sir,
That's also.
sir, devotion discussion now, sir. We can't discuss devotion. And we are discussing on that. Discussion on devotion, not possible. And the discussion goes on for 45 minutes. This is the fundamental problem of devotion. If you are trying to understand devotion, bhakti yoga, when we say, not an easy topic. One of the, but once you get the hang of it, there's nothing, no beauty than that. But if you don't get a hang of it, immediately we'll ask you, so how to get that feel? It's like a boy coming and asking, how to love? Can we tell him, okay, buy roses and give? Not season, sir, now. She doesn't like roses. What to do? Again, he'll come. He'll say, okay, buy some other thing. Okay. I say, okay, not that, no, chocolates. February 14th, no, we're in 12th now. Day after. That's why I'm escaping. Run away from this place. Jan 14th. Sorry, what is it? February 14th. Valentine's Day. What are we supposed to do? Chocolates and roses. Very expensive thing. On that day. Or one day before. Next day it drops. Rose. He doesn't like chocolates. What to do now? Don't tell me. Is there anyone who will not like? I'll show you. You know? I say you should know how to choose a partner. You know, it will be sensible enough. No. You say, you don't like chocolate. Something he doesn't like, I buy and give. What is he going to do with that? Write, poetry. If you don't know how to write poetry, what to do now? What do? Chat GPT. You are updated. Correct. If you say Google, Adina, old generation you are. New generation will not go to Google and ask. In my days, what we used to do, we'll go to the cards section. The card section, somebody would have written something. One line from this card, second line from that card, third line from this card. We compile all that and then we give. One fellow took the name also. One card, he wrote. Fellow, copy. Priya copy. Fellow. He copied the name also. School. A Pongal card and all used to get, that card. Like that, they'll have some cards and all that. We used to go there, open that and make a note. Immediate, no camera, phone and all that, no. So we need to take that, make a note there. Love, remember, is blind. That blindness is what we are going to discuss. That is the definition Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gives for devotion. He says, devotion, the man who is qualified to talk about devotion. It's very rare to find. See, you should not go to Ramana Maharishi for devotion. Not that he has any less devotee. Don't think, Ramana is any less in devotion. But it's tough to understand. There's Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, amazing one. Extreme moment of maddening love. Extreme love to God is what he calls as devotion, bhakti. What is bhakti? He says extreme madness it is. In devotion, there cannot be any bargaining. There's no barter system in devotion. I do this, you do that. I have done so much, what have you done? What all I have done, what all you have done. This is the debate we have always. Every fight in the house is only this. What is it? I have done so much to you, but you have not done anything to me. I have done so much to keep this relationship going. You have not done anything to keep this. If at all you have done something that is so insignificant compared to what I have done. This is called attachment. In love, it is exactly opposite. Whatever the other has done will always appear far greater than what you have done. How much ever you do, you will never get that satisfaction that I have done. You will want to do more. You will want to serve more. You will want to sacrifice more. You'll be looking for every little opportunities. Be searching for that and doing. That's where, everyone will look. What's wrong with you? You cannot look normal in the eyes of others. But as far as you are concerned, how your life goes, that's what Kabir says. And there's a father to take care. What is my problem? When they were traveling in the ship, going in the ship, a huge storm, and everyone got so panicky. And Kabir's wife, she says, "Are you not afraid?" He says, "Yes, no. I don't have any problem." Why? You don't get scared. As she was having a conversation, Kabir took a knife there and he went near her with a knife, near the child. She was there, the child himself. He took the knife and took it close to the child. She didn't react at all, actually. He said, "Are you not afraid? I'm taking a knife to the child." He says, "What is the problem? That's your son, no? You are the father. How will you do harm to the child? Impossible." He said, "A mortal father cannot do harm to a mortal child. You think that immortal father will harm? Impossible. The knife is in the hands of the father. How can it harm? Impossible." So what is the second dimension of it, sir? There is no fear. In devotion, in love, there's no fear. That is why all these boys, I asked them, and I was doing this in the colleges, I asked those fellows, the day you decided internally that I think I am in love with this girl, did you inform her? Did you express that on the same day? Or you postponed expression? I could not find a single boy who came. Everyone has experienced, only few boys had the courage to put up their hands. Amongst those who had put up their hands, I asked, none of them said. Now, why? All of them gave the same reply, universal reply. Why you didn't reply? Why you didn't tell her the same day? Sir, we are having a good relationship. This can come and break that relationship. No? There's a chance. Chance of she's saying no. Chance of breaking the very friendship that we are having, the relationship that we are having. So that I don't want to happen. Therefore, I'm waiting for the right moment. And these fellow waiting. I had one friend. A fellow was waiting for 4 years in school. From 8th standard, that fellow. I joined that school only 11th and 12th. I didn't join there. But this boy is in the school. Our classmate, another girl. He was in love with her. From 8th standard, he claims. From 8th standard, I'm in love with this girl, but I didn't tell her. Postponed it to 9th. Postponed it to 10th. Postponed to 11th. That's the time I entered. Right. And then 11th also. Such boys, you should never go to movies, with them. Because every scene, that heroine comes. The fellow used to imagine, himself to be the hero and her to be heroine, And on popcorn and masala, masala vada, I used to go with him. Because he'll buy tickets. I don't have to buy tickets. We have bus pass free for us. School students, so bus pass free. that time. So we'll travel in any bus. No other. And ticket he'll buy, and he'll buy any one of these things. I follow. But the torture is, every scene she appeared, he'll say, hey, she's smiling exactly. Hey, I said, hey, Kushpuda, said, it's a difference, and there's no connection, I'm not talking about current, Kushpu. Okay, I'm saying in our days. Like, where is she and where is this fellow? That movie, what is that? Kushpuda padam, enna padappa adu? Varsham 16. Oh my God. There's a movie called Varsham 16, 16 years. What is that 16 years? Nobody understands. Right? But 16 years, my God, that movie, like a storm it came in the Tamil industry. Ooh. Varsham 16 பார்த்திருக்கியா? Very old, very new generation you are. We are an old generation once. Unbelievable. This fellow will sit there. 3 times the fellow took me to that movie. I also like a goat, I went with it. I followed that fellow. 11th also, he didn't say. 12th, the last day, the fellow was telling. Adu kuda, he didn't say. He was telling me, நீ போய் சொல்டா. Stupid fellows. Postpone. Why you can't postpone? Why you had to postpone it? Fear. Fear of anything, no matter what it is. The fear you are experiencing internally means it is not love. It cannot be devotion. If there is fear of God, there is no devotion. There is a fear. That's what happened to Arjuna in the last chapter. Had fear. That's why Krishna has to teach him about devotion. Stupid. You claim to be a devotee, but you are experiencing fear. It doesn't go together. How can a man of devotion can have fear? Devotion will not have fear. Similarly, love also will not have fear. Impossible. The first advice of every mother-in-law to daughter-in-laws. If you want to give a complaint about me, don't start as soon as he enters the house. Let him come back, settle down, give him a cup of coffee. After that, you speak. You don't, isn't it? We, all of us, have to see the mood of the other person and speak. That means what? That does mean, you don't factor in anything. You just start. Wherever you go, whatever happens, you start like that. It's not that I'm saying. See, it's compulsory for us. Why? Fear makes you manipulative. There's manipulation. You look at the mood, I have to see the mood of the person and talk. Manipulative. Can't talk direct. Don't try all that in your office. I'm not going to see with your boss. Look into your boss' mood and talk. If he'll chuck you out, if he throws you out, don't come back to me. You only said, I should not have any fear. So directly I told him. He'll throw you out and then don't send the resume to me. Doesn't work that way. No fear. Devotion has no fear. In love, there is no fear. And in love, there is no competition also. You see, every love, we feel it is, we do not understand emotion as a quality. We all understand emotion only in quantity. Emotion is not understood. No one, we cannot understand that. Only as quantum we understand. Quantum of love is what? Have you seen the kids talking always? There are two kids in the house. The two kids will always have a conversation amongst them. Mother loves me more. Fight. Always the fight is there. Mother loves me more. No, she loves me more. If this is not happening, parents will have a fight. Tell me, beta, who you like the most? Daddy or mummy? The child says, neighbor auntie. Because she does keep asking all that, Yes. What is the problem? Why you have to have that competition? Wherever you go, you have to have the competition. Even among friends also we say, why are you taking my friend? There's a fight. One fellow comes, once he gets introduced, and then this person starts becoming more friendly towards the other person. Immediately this person starts feeling jealous, that anger, that frustration, that sense of rivalry, competitiveness. We do not. Why? Is because we understand emotions as quantity. So, if my share has to be taken this much, means if he has to give to the others, he will not get the same. No. If he gets X, that X is less from the total. That's why it's superb to say that. Feel emotions were like Purnamadah Purnamidam. That is also full. This is also full. If you are capable of loving, you will love everyone, everything equal. That doesn't mean the treatment will be equal. Now, I'm not talking about how you treat, how you act, how you express. I'm not talking about the expression of feeling. Okay? The expression of feeling is different. I'm talking about the experience of feeling. Experience of emotion can never be any less because it is distributed to more people. That's what Christ did. With one bread, he served the entire village. Like we think, he is doing a miracle, magic. Magic, he is only expressing what? He's only saying it is love, man. If I give that much to that person, doesn't mean any less. Between two devotees, there can never be a fight. To whom God favored more? Imagine Bhishma and Prahalada having a conversation. Hanuman and Garga or Garuda, both of them having a conversation. To whom did he favor the most? Then Gajendra comes in between. Did he favor Gajendra more? Or Prahalada more? Or Dhruva more? Tukaram? Namdev? Tulsidas? To whom? Because the way he treats, the way he is done, is absolutely different. It's unbelievable stories of all those devotees. In South, if you come, Shiva Puranas, if you come there, you find, Kannappan is an illiterate hunter. Shiva gives him mukti 7 days. 7th day he attained mukti. Whereas Upper, the oldest fellow, 80 years. Vagisa was his original name. Upper original name was Vagisa. Vagisa means he is Isha for walk. He is such a prolific scholar. His scholarship was so good, the Jain people enticed him and took him to their side. See, enticed because they said, if we can have this one fellow with us, that's it. We can uproot the whole thing. We can convert the entire country to Jain. So they took him. He went away there. With the Jain. And then because of his sister and some story, a big story, and then he comes back to Shaivism. It's a branch of Hinduism. I gave example of only Vaishnava. So immediately people think only him is Shiva, nobody does. Huh? And Shivratri is coming. We have to give one example of Shiva also. So balanced. Imagine Kannappa comes and meets Upper. 80 years, 7 days I got. How much you have to struggle, how much of testing. 80 years old fellow going to Kailash. Even then Shiva is testing him, his renunciation. These things, what all tests he has to go through at 80. Upper. By then he has become such a authority in. Everyone said, how can Upper go through that sort of a testing? Between the two, Upper will not feel inferior. Manikavasagar is not going to feel any inferior. Nor Kannappa is going to feel superior. All you fellows. Suddenly that lady comes, that Karaikalammayar. She comes. She was introduced. Shiva introduces her. Hey, Parvati is there, no? In Kailash. Karaikalammayar is coming. Parvati is there. He says, hey, go and prostrate to her. She's entering Kailasam. Mukti, that is Kailash is entering Mukti, for them. She is entering. Shiva is telling Parvati, says, go and prostrate to her. Why? Mother-in-law. She is your mother-in-law. If she is her, Parvati's mother-in-law, to Shiva, what is she? He says, she is a devotee of Shiva, but Shiva calls her as my mother she is. She is my mother. Now, imagine those devotees were to have a seating and having a conversations. Will there be any problem amongst them? To whom Shiva favored? Who is a favorite devotee of Shiva? Who is a favorite devotee of Vishnu? If that is there, that means what? They don't have devotion. If that rivalry were to be there, if that competitiveness were to be there, that comparisons and competitions and all that. Why? Is because for all of us, emotion means emotion shared, emotion lost. It's a loss because it reduces, isn't it? You can have billions of dollars with you. You give $10 to me, understood as what? You are $10 less. No matter how much you have. In emotions, what is it? In devotion, the person understands what? How much ever is shared, how much ever is given, how much ever is transacted, it remains the same. Therefore, there is no comparison at all. They will never have that comparison. Not with the fellow devotees, not even with what they have done and what God has done to them in return. There's no comparison. There's no fight. You don't go and fight with God. How much I have done puja to you? Can't you do this much for me? Devotion. Remember, devotion, there is no technique. I can't give a technique for devotion, for there is no technique. If there is a technique, I will be the first person to take it. No techniques here. You just have to generate it in you. To generate, what should I do, sir? There is no cause and effect relationship. That's the meaning of no technique. When I say no technique, what I mean is what you do and what happens. There's no cause and effect relationship. We cannot say, because the cause and effect relationship will look so idiotic, actually speaking. Logically, if you see, the hero was going in a two-wheeler. From the bus, the dupatta of the heroine comes and touches. Dupatta touch panna, you will fall in love with the girl. Huh? Then no dhobi should touch the dupatta, because every dhobi who touches the dupatta to iron, no? That's called a cause and effect relationship. Cause and effect relationship. It should be like that. Now how can that be? The hero who is having, the richest man in the country, seeing a lady helping one poor fellow to cross the road. He falls in love with that lady. It's a risk, no? For her. Because tomorrow, if he sees another girl who is helping two blind people to cross the road, who is superior now? So she will do what? It's fascinating to see. The quality which we appreciated to fall in love with that person is the same quality we will hate after we have fallen in love with them. Oh, he is such a social person, She is such a social lady. That's why I fall in love with her. After you have fallen in love with her, she should not be social after that. If she is social after that, what happens to you then? That's not rivalry. The fight you will start having with the same object. But you claim that as what? I am in love with that. Because of love only I am doing all this. Why the whole concept is? Because we feel it is quantity. We don't understand emotion as a quality. Remember, bhakti is an emotion. It's a quality in you. You cannot have all this. It's a very basic idea. We have not yet gone into the definition of bhakti and all that. We'll see. But in that process, we will give you some points. Certain steps were given, certain things were told. But remember, they are not techniques. Okay. Some qualities will be there. 35 qualities he is going to give. I don't know how long we are going to take that to complete. 12th chapter, chapter is very small, but I don't know how long it will take for us to complete 35 qualities. Imagine even if we were to do the speed in which we go, the class, 35 class ஒரு quality, அவ்வளோதான். We will give certain steps, but remember, they are not techniques to develop bhakti. But in spite of that, it is given. Why? Because you ask for it. Because you believe that there should be a method. I should do something to get it. It's not that you do something and you get it. Then how do I get it, sir? How do we get love? How do we get devotion? அடுத்த வாரம், next week. Okay? Next week we'll see.